can do a bit of a slipway stream, I think. 'Cause why not, right? So what are we up to today? Well, more tough runs, I suppose, right? This time we have rich deposits, which gives us more minerals. The question is, can we use those minerals, right? Not yet know. Well, that will be useful. Previous one with high birth rate, we didn't really use it all that well. This one is another perk that can sometimes not be very useful. And with the Bakar as well, it might be overkill. On the other hand, it might make it easier to do Bakar missions to generate minerals in general. Even though we cannot use said minerals, it's still, you know, a bit of a help. Bakar, Victorian Dinder. I see that both science techs are available for us. We also have nanites available. This would have been excellent in the world where their teleporters were OP, because both teleporters and monoliths are also available. Which kind of, you know, would have been an insane combination then. It's still pretty good though. We got growth and careful observation. Careful observation, one of those sleeper, really good abilities. It allows you to basically ignore any signals that are... refresh the browser here. Ignore any signals that are empty in your scanning. And instead, the only signals that will be visible will be the ones that actually have either planets, asteroids, or, for the matter of fact, forebear ruins in them. Did I... Okay. Get some more things out of the way, I suppose. That would help. Okay. Yeah. As you can see, several of them already disappeared, which means the starting location might look a bit empty to experience eyes. Now, this is very likely to be an asteroid, for example, right? It's good to know the start near asteroids, though. We have a total of 100 money from missions. I think it's a good thing to realize how much you have. It can range from at most 180 to at least 60. So there's a ×3 difference in the amount of money that's available from missions. And of course, you know, we have a total of 14 science, which that too has a big range of 6 to 18. So 14 is quite high. Of course, the total number of both will always add up to 24 if you divide the money by 10. You realize how the math works. Yeah, one point of science with 10 points of money, right? That's the sort of the idea. Now, we do not have the Denner ability to make anything with the project a lot better. We do have growth, meaning we pay no upkeep for people planets, which works well with orbital lands, I suppose. We have 3 techs to make science, but taking 3 is perhaps a bit overkill. There's also dimensional anchoring, which might not be too terrible, although if you combine it with limited teleportations, it's of limited use. Because typically if you're going to build teleporters, you're going to build pretty tiny slipways. Unfortunately, there's no aversion. There is nanites, though, which could be interesting too. Anyway, let's have a look at planets. We want to scout as minimally as possible with Bakar. So over here would be a good idea. Yeah, that we can get 6 planets over here. Well, 5 if one is an asteroid. And 4 if you consider that the lava isn't all that useful. But within those 4 is a combination of planets that, in fact, gives us the ability to do a two-way trade from the start. In addition to that, this is sort of really awesome for making goods. Because we will be able to use the chip and the ore, making this successful if so desired. Although we don't have the silthed, so we won't get a mission for it. We might get a mission to make this one successful instead. Who knows, right? Which would require water. Alright, so... I suppose we could even make a mine here. Although, truth be told, the Bakara's missions might want us to make minerals as well. So perhaps we pre-connect in this goods factory instead. It would cost us some additional money, right? 3 additional credits to do so. And 2 from this as well. I don't think it's too terrible though. We're quite likely to do this. New tasks are available. Discover 8 new plants. There we go. And I suppose we'll increase the production of food since we don't have any yet. Alright, so let's start off by fixing this area up. Utilizing as much as possible of our resources. Right, that helps. Although the goods aren't being used yet. We would need to find some food around here, which shouldn't be too hard considering the high concentration of plants. And the fact that this colony is in reach of most of the stuff around it. Like, yeah, there are tons of possibilities to make food. The question is just which one's best, right? And I suppose this one could do. Let's have a look if there isn't a closer option. Okay, that's our Bakar task. In fact, this ocean could be that closer option. Which is rather where I want it to be, because I would prefer to be able to get 2 uses out of the goods instead of just a singular one. If I can help it, right? Let's go have a look up here as well. Is ore available for it too? If only there's some place to send the food to, right? A good place to send food to would be nice. Okay, have a look over here finally. Oh! Oh, that's a good place to send food to, and it's in range, and it connects to everything. Sure, okay. We got ourselves a plan then. This has no upkeep, so we can just found it wherever. Because of our Dender perk. And that sends in 2 more things. Make our income go from 10 to 20 in 1 step. Not bad, not bad. Now we can make this scavenger world, which will create more food. Which can then be used in the Earth-like just in time. As well as the goods can be used in the Earth-like. Getting us a core of successful planets. In addition to that, this human can be used to make ore, which can then be used in the farm as well. Creating an additional point of food, as well as making an additional successful plant. I think I want to do that. Now that does push us to growing though, so it might be good if I can see. Maybe we want to do a laboratory at this point of some sort. I don't think so. We don't really have a good laboratory location with this sort of setup. It's still a good setup because, you know, it's quite effective with regards to the amount of things we have. Well, we have quite a few spare humans, I would surmise. Not really sure what to do about that. We also have a problem using up ore, but that's pretty much a general thing, especially when, you know, you have this kind of thing set up. Well, in any case, we can have a look over here as well. Okay, well, this looks like an excellent place to found a colony if we can, you know, manage to get water for it. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case that we can. We've walled this one off. It's a bit of a stretch of resources to get that in. It's unfortunate because it would be very nice to set this colony up, set this connection up, set this ore up, and link back. You know? If we could create some water in some way, that would really contribute. Huh. That's food for thought. Well, in any case, this is going to be 12. I think that's fine enough. And that would require biomatter, but it doesn't really have a way to fix itself, so we should probably take it. That puts us at 27 income. What if I don't find anything? We are at 29 income, so it's still not good enough by itself. Another thing we could do is, you know, send this in, right? Or 33 income. But it'd be a bit of a big waste of time, right? There's not really much we could do, though, to improve things further. Other than, you know, making food. Which, this is one food. It's just like, how do we make 2 more? Well, over here, right? That would make the most sense. So how can we... Yeah, let's have a look at how we can most quickly make the food, necessary food for the Bakar mission. So that might be another instructive path to take. Okay, so that's that done. And then we might be taking something like this one. And then we'd run into money trouble at that point. Okay. So I can do something like that instead. Take the 27. Found that planet. As well as that one. And then get the mission done. Are we willing to take this? We'd have to skip at the end of this year again. With 31. But I think it's the fastest way of completing this mission. For what that's worth, right? We'd also get the ability to send food back, right? It's not entirely useless. And I suppose the biomatter can be used on this place as well. That is obstructed, unfortunately, though. So, for those who were hoping for a two-way trade plus a food place, unfortunately not available. Well, I looked at the missions, so we can't undo at this point. Okay, so we can get some ore-producing worlds to successful. Tricky, considering we don't have outputs for them. People-producing worlds to successful. Well, quite easy if we can output one human here, which shouldn't be hard. For at least one of the two, right? Don't know about the other one yet. And establishing a lab studying water, which there is none of. Yeah, I don't know about the water lab, right? But getting ore-producing plants successful might be impossible for us. As long as there aren't any consumers. Which there aren't, so I guess we'll take the science path. I'd also like to produce some science before we go to 16, right? That's usually a good point to start producing science, just before you hit 16. Let's go ahead and skip the rest of the year, because we can't do anything. Literally, we have a single credit to our name, which cannot be used for anything. Okay, this unlocks the ability to do not much. Okay. Well, we can spend 13 to send food back. To make 4 more credits. So that's okay. I think that's a good investment overall. Just continue to invest in your existing layout, right? Will be the usual procedure. One thing I'd love to do is to send out an additional human to make anything really. Let's go ahead and check out over here. We can make something. Yeah, we can make something here. I think I want water, right? Because there's more ore here, which could be made successful, I suppose, with that. More importantly, though, we had a mission to procure ourselves a science lab, researching that very resource that is produced over on this planet. Over? Oh. And we could get another one. And another one. Now, do we have access? Well, I guess it's not necessary because there are 4 people available here. So there's enough humans available to just be able to get what we need. Well, let's go ahead and build the other water. Okay, that's 40 income. Oh, that's out of range, though. Can we at least use water in, I guess, this place, right? The disadvantage here, though, is how are we going to get humans in here? It's a good question, isn't it? So, though you are out of range, too. And there are only a few small blobs available. And we do not have any tech that increases the range of our slipways either. So I think we're obliged to take a look here first before we colonize it. And it turns out there is no water available, or no people available to make more water. Should that dissuade us? Perhaps. But one thing we could do, though, is make a colony there and then settle the water. Which will at least allow access to this water. It should be sufficient, really. Okay, so if I'm going to build this stuff. It should probably be in, like, this location. Let's see, 11, 4, and 8. While if we move up, due to the way that triangles work, it's kind of complicated mathematics, but it ends up being 27 like this. But if you go closer to the area where there are 2 planets, it ends up being 9 plus 15, only 24. The ideal location would be to get the longest possible connection that is still worth 3. Ideally, that is rounded to 3.49. Which, you know, if you wanted to spend endlessly on playing tough and optimizing things, then this is, you know, one area to really do it in. 15 and 7, because that gets us to exactly 0 money, right? If I didn't do that kind of thing, we wouldn't have been able to complete that mission this year, and we would have missed out on a couple points of science. You know, that does end up mattering later on in the game, I would imagine. I think I'll take this, though. Because I would like to continue going if we can. Is there another asteroid we are able to take? No. So while we theoretically would be able to continue going, practically we can't keep going? Well, that's not entirely true. I can found this colony. Right, these do not cost us any upkeep. Well, they cost us the 1 point in administration costs, but I'll take that, right? 27's okay. Oh, it creates a prosperous plant. How fascinating. Well, now though, let's go ahead and... let's make that prosperous plant, actually. We get 9 income from it. Because prosperous plants, right? 13 income with that. Even though it's not selling anymore, it is increasing its trade income by 1. Because it's trading with successful partners, right? These as well, right? They're 8, 8, 12... And this one's also 8, right? Once it sends its thing. Well, they become... well, this one's 7 because of it not being prosperous here. Well, these should improve as well, right? 9 here, 9 here, and 13 there. So we made 3 additional points of trade income over here by connecting it up there. Because of the way trade income works for prosperous plants. Which is neat, right? Trades with prosperous plants are worth 5 instead of 4, if the other planet is successful. Okay, so now that both of our people producing plants are upgraded, what can we do to unlock some more, right? Well, one thing that is doable is to just simply make more goods. And food. And simply send that into the places where we want it. This one sounds good. Also, again, we pay no upkeep on these planets, which actually ends up quite effective, actually. We have 1, 2, 3, 4... Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those planets, right? Out of our 14 planets, 6 are food planets. Total upkeep we're not paying. 1 here. I think this is 1 as well. 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, right? So otherwise we'd be making 34 instead of 42. That does compound over time. Okay. We don't have any more money though. I could take this asteroid, but I think we're better off skipping now. I would imagine that we'll be able to get this desert up at some point. Because I'm looking at these solar superconductors, and considering the amount of desert plants we're finding, they could be quite good. I'm also eyeing these geothermals as well, actually. Maybe we could go double into that. Although this one is kind of obstructed because this path is obstructed by the connection down here, which I think we should have still made. It makes sense, right? There's also a star birth there. We could maybe later on turn this into a star. That might be the more practical way to go about things. There's also ore available that we can't really send anywhere. Maybe we could do monoliths or teleporters, right? And then this final piece of ore could go somewhere. If I can't, just a teleporter over here, right, will do. We don't have any access to... Yeah. Okay. I'll skip then. We're at 6 science. Unlocking the first possible tech. Remnant and primordial worlds can now get xenolabs. One over here would have been great, but this is a lava, which doesn't really count. The primordial here. Xenolabs I don't really like though, because they cannot be upgraded. I don't think it makes too much of a difference which we pick. Can we get a good from a robot? No. It doesn't reach anyway. I'll go ahead and pick ore. For the sole reason that we might be able to connect it here. If we find certain particular events. Okay. Getting 2 remnants successful. Might be possible. This one is locked in though. Where's the explored area? Oof, it's far away. It's very far away. You did your first 30k? Well, congratulations. I would suppose, unreasonable. We're just starting out. 30,000 is a pretty high goal. I would say that, you know, a 30,000 run on tough is sort of like about as hard as winning Ascension 20 on Slay the Spire. We have 15 planets. So now would be the greatest time to build science. But we already built some. So we don't need to. I just keep expanding at the rate we're going. Although, you know, with 74 money in the bank, because we just completed a mission. Which one did we just complete? They gave us some money. Ah, the Dender one, of course. Right. It gave us 40 credits in full science. We can get a tech discount if we just increase population by 10. I don't think good Dender techs early. Just do all the tech with the tech discount. And you can get more done. Well, there are not that many good ones. Maybe habitat structures can provide us with some additional benefits. For example, there's a location here that can support both a good and a food. There's nowhere to send the humans to though, so this is a bit of a moot point. There's a location here which would have loved a habitat structure because, you know, there's 3 different places to send humans to here, but there's no food there. So we've kind of built our way into a corner here. One other place though would be in here. This would love to be another water extraction facility to help the lab further. And there's food available here. So, you know, that would work if there's biomatter for us. That's the question. Still, that's a good... even if we only can get a couple habitats, that's still good, okay use of it. As well as, you know, maybe one over here, right? Instead of using this colony that will not be able to get water, we could build a habitat fix it that way. That would entail getting the resource shortages though, so I don't think I want to do that. I want to get hit by the 3% permanent penalty. I think we'll do these two though, because exploring like that far away is usually not what I want to do. If we expand our empire in a very long, snaky way like this, then it might be very hard in the late game to utilize things like teleporters, or slipstream relay, or even something like Starbirth or everlasting monoliths. Because the monoliths would love to be in the middle of an empire, but if your empire is very long and snake-like, it'll be very hard to connect it to planets that are far away. And the same goes for really any resource you want to go move from anywhere to anywhere. You kind of would like a compact sort of empire, like a... what's the word? I can't remember the math. The shape. Right? A shape that's not spiky but more round. There's a word for that. But the definition kind of fails to materialize in my brain at the moment. Anyway, these two things are going to get done. Okay. Now this is at 7%, so we're required to connect it this year. We don't want to face a 3% permanent resource shortage penalty, which I would like not to. We have 3% from resources per shortage getting worse. This one and this one, yeah. And now this one as well, which we have no plan of solving this ever. That's not the greatest. So basically we stave this off another 7 years, right? Well, I mean, we can at least send the food in, but there's no plan of getting it water. Maybe there's water in the corner over here. We don't know. Well, we don't have to worry about it right now, right? It's placated, basically. It's just obstructed, right? I was afraid of that. Although this one has a hard time upgrading anyway because of lack of water as well. Some water over here would have been awesome, but there is none. There's no water extraction on asteroids tech, right? Yeah, I would imagine asteroids are like habitats for people. One thing we could do though is we could use some of these excess humans for what's the word? Orbital labs. We have 49 extra credits from that Dender mission. So it might be instructive to take them. It might take solar superconductors as well, but we have no chips available near any of these planets. Well, we have some here. Well, they're not really in location that's good for, I think. Another thing we could do though is instead of making water, we could use energy to satisfy this planet, which could come from geothermals as well. Although we probably want to get both then, which would entail getting some more science investments really. We have a bit of time to solve this. It also would help with the mission, because this would get 3 people and 4 if we get energy-driven industry, I suppose. Alright, well, I think we'll build at least one of these orbital labs. Maybe even 2. Although that would maybe cut into our income too much, depending on, you know, where we're discovering and what we're doing. Let's have a look around, right? Is there some cheap source of biomatter and things you want to connect in immediately then? Oh yeah, look at that. This is excellent. And there's some asteroids as well. I think we can afford doing another orbital lab over here. Getting us up to 5 science. And then one thing to do, also, one thing of note though is that these orbital labs are actually decreasing the progress of our mission. So we're now at -1 of 10 people. I mean, the task was to increase your population by 10. We've managed to decrease it by 1, so that wasn't, you know... I mean, you could potentially just put off your orbital labs and not build them. But that costs science points, right? We don't want that. You could also build disease eradication to make this mission easier, I suppose, but we'll build some more people eventually. This only costs 1 upkeep. So we went to established by building that. Where did we build what? To go to established? We scouted something, right? So there's no point in... Yeah, doing that at the end of the year is always a bit unfortunate because we end up paying 16 credits for no real good reason this year. So be it. Alright, so that you know, is kind of an effective two-way trade, sending in two things at the same time. Yeah. There's also this connection still to be made for only 7. I think there's no reason not to do it. So yeah, like a habitat here would be exceedingly nice, wouldn't it? Well, just any colony, really. I'm just out of range of being able to target these. And I'm very much interested in founding a colony in this area, so why don't we check out these small ones here? Look at that. I guess that counts. It needs ore, but that shouldn't be too hard. Famous last words, right? And there's no real other way of satisfying you anyway. So why not? The connections are cheap too. It's only 6 for that one. This one's a little bit more expensive at 13. We're also keeping our train of successful plants going here. I could even do that for 18, though that's a bit more expensive. But, you know, I would imagine that if I make you successful, it's just this ore here, right? That can't go anywhere. That's sort of holding everything up then. Because this has 5 traded resources. This one's 4. You need 6 traded resources to get to prosperous, as well as 3 partners. This one has 2 partners and also 4 resources. Yeah, there's no good way of getting things to prosperity quickly. Oh, wait. Oh, there is. This one apparently already had all the requirements. Yeah, it did. Well, okay, that's another, 7 income. Not bad. Also, this created some people. Wait, how do we get to 2 people? We were at 0. Something else we did made the human. Somewhere else, I suppose. Is making this successful? I wouldn't know. And this one, right? Yeah. There's also this connection to be made as well. Giving you another partner. Getting you to 2 partners and 5 out of 6 imports. Yeah, quite close, but not quite there. So good enough for... Okay, so what about this? It's out of range. I would imagine so. It's quite far away. How's this doing? 2%. Not too shabby. Okay, there's an Earth-like here. That's an easy way to make lots of humans. Keep that in mind, I suppose. Oh, do that connection first. It does make money, right? Yeah, it makes quite a bit. Now we also have 3 things used here. So 3 inputs, 3 outputs. This now has enough to become prosperous as well. It just needs 1 more partner, I would imagine. Yeah. So, if we could reach it, but it's just shy of doing that. Still fine though. So one thing we could do here is a science lab, which can get up to 4 science. These are not too shabby. And also restored and settled, it can be quite good if you have available access to extra food and goods. We kind of don't. So the real question is, can we found additional colonies in this upper area over here to make use of this if we make it a laboratory? Because with 1 input it's not that good. It really would rather have 3 inputs. Well, at least 2, right? So you get better use of the upkeep. 1 doesn't seem so great. And you know how expensive it is. So that's a start. Getting us the upkeep. I think it's good enough to do it. We don't quite have the money to do it this year, I think. I guess if I do, then I won't be able to found more things. Now, I would imagine that I should find this first. That doesn't really matter. Go ahead and explore this because I want to know. Yeah, this is what I really was looking for. We can make some chips here. As well as some water on this other side. So there's like quite a few good ones to do. Let's go ahead and consume maybe. I don't know. These are quite expensive to run at this point, right? This one costs a total of 4. This one 5. Well, we're missing out on 6 here, so I think it's still better to found a planet over. Maybe we can just explore something in the final month to save us that little bit of money. We'll go ahead and get solar superconductors, which I'm eyeing to go ahead and fix this planet. Okay, so if I send out Scott, and I've been generating with 74 credits, which should be enough to sort of get us what we want. Go ahead and two-way trade here. And set up a recycling operation. Also, we'll set up a science colony here. Use up the asteroid. Yeah, so this sort of conflicts with getting the science colony further up, which I don't know about, right? In any case, we can solar farm this desert. Well, that would be quite expensive, though, to keep running at the end of the year. I don't know if we have a better choice, though. I was still getting 60 from it, so it's still felt fine. We actually have enough money to buy 2 more orbital labs. Let's go ahead and do that. So science increasing at a fairly rapid clip. I also have the ability to now unlock both gene adjustment, geothermals, and deep study. I don't think we need gene adjustment, but I might be interested in geothermals. I am interested in geothermals. We can fix this, right? So we should probably take it. We could take deep study first, though, to increase the science bonus from orbital labs. It is worth 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 points of science. But potentially many more if we get, you know, all these colonies working, which is our goal right now. Okay. I could connect that, but that doesn't seem like the bestest of ideas. Considering that, you know, we wanted to fix this as well. That would make some sense, wouldn't it? There's a slight lack of materials over here, which is impeding us a bit. Like, this would be nice, right? But then there's no water here. I could forego this 1 extra point of science, to be honest. I might want to do that because there's like so many things that want to consume this chip over here, and it would become successful. And we have a goal to make remnant planets successful, right? Not forgetting that. And that gets us 8 points of science, just, you know, straight up 8 points. Which isn't actually that much worse than an additional point in the 4-bear rune, because there's only 13 years left. So, you know, we don't want to be foregoing 5 points of science. I don't think that's too terrible. There's the... Let's send in the water here. And create... we do go to large. If I do that... Bit. There could be an argument to be made to do some more things that don't get us to the next size category. We can. If there is any. We could send an additional human in here, for example. Although, you know, we could also make that. Like once it gets energy, it'll be able to send a human in anyway. Which I would imagine would be, or this, right? With a relay, I suppose. If only you could get ore, right? Ah. Yeah, we're missing out on that. Geothermals are available, but you know, again, they would result in the same problem. Can we stall in some way until we hit October? Well, we can get quite far by using some asteroids. There's no more orbital labs to be built though for the money we're making. We're building up quite a bit of spare though. One thing we could do is just plunk down a regular laboratory somewhere, although there are no humans available to use it. I would like a pair of resources if we're going to make a laboratory at the minimum. Right, so it's at least worth 3 science, and maybe more later on in the game. One thing we could investigate, for example, is, you know, what would happen if we put this in? Well, not very much right now. So the resources are in use. This is available, the biomatter, but you know, there's no other biomatter available. There's enough people here to make a lab work. There's not enough resources to input. There's also this area. These will make quite a bit of ore, but you know, we need to use one of them to make water. Well, do we? I think it's about time we scouted here. Well, you should look at that. We don't. It was staring at us all along. Oh, okay, this is going to be water. This is going to be ore. And this is also going to be ore. And maybe even more ore. And then, you know, if we do this kind of thing, which I would imagine is quite good, then putting a lab all the way up here would kind of be the best way. And you might think, why is he building a lab when it costs you, you know, 9? Because paying 24 is much, much, much worse. So go ahead and, you know, go to October. Did I place this correctly? I did. Now we can go ahead and build all of this up. I don't want to build it fast, but although we're lacking some humans here to do the things we want to do. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can get 1 rim this is successful, but we need 2 to get the mission done, so not in super much of a hurry. We'll probably get the deep study next year. Let's go ahead and build that mine. And you know, the colony over here, so we use the mine and upgrade the mine. There's 2 more ore available that we cannot use. Well, that's fine, although I cannot really use this mine very well. We can go ahead and explore some more. We can't find some more food for this ocean. Oh, there is some. In fact, there's a very large amount of food potentially here. The main question really is how we're going to make it. I don't know, right? Like if the bots are going to be made here and more ore is made there. And we could do this, right? The main question is, can we do it in such a way that there is a second colony available somewhere? This sort of setup doesn't work because this colony would need a chip. There's also another option of making an Arctic farm instead. And again, you know, the biometric could come from the Gaia world. But then, you know, the Arctic farm won't be able to send to the Earth-like. So that's a no. We could also make a colony on the Earth-like, and then get the the biomatter from the mechanized harvest. The problem with that is that now the Earth-like's in the way for the robot. All possible configurations, though, involve a scrapping operation here, so that's a good start. Although, I'm seeing a tiny problem. The ore production is not really up to snuff without water. Thankfully, though, there is a solution that does do that at the very least. Guess that's what we're going for then. So now, can we get this whole matter solved? Yeah, almost. Getting this one happy gives us 2 more people, which gets us to 9. Founding this colony then gets us to 10. Putting this water in then gets us to the other mission. We can do both missions at the same time. That seems awesome. Let's go ahead and pick up deep study first, or should we pick up some more money first? This is quite a bit of money. Do we have some tech that gives us more money in the late game? That's really the thing we should be looking at, right? There isn't much available, right? So if I don't take some help with money, then we might be in trouble with the admin costs that are going to go up very high very quickly. I think I'll pick up gene adjustment first. Science is okay for this part of the game. I would like it to be better, but the money is kind of really important to get up much higher than it is right now. Okay, so that gets us the human we need. This is only 1 upkeep, right? Although this is 0, so we'll pick the 0 first. Then we get the 2-way trade over here. This is first task complete. Nice. And then I guess we can do this one now. And then this connection over here should complete the second task. Okay. Again, with the explore the designated area, where he wants me to go, like all the way over there, where we have nothing. I guess we get some plants to prosperous then? Remnant and people producing. Shouldn't be too much of a problem though. You just need successful partners. You basically have all the inputs and outputs you would need. Although doing it this way might preclude some benefits here, so let's hold off on for now. No, there's not much available here. There's like a museum, but there's no one to send into the museum. This becomes quite good if you can send more people into it than just 1, right? You send 3 people and you get 3 happiness. And you know, those people you send in do give you money. We could, I suppose, build a habitat in this corner to send a person into the Forebear Ruin, as well as a person into this biomatter world, which would get enough imports and exports to become prosperous, but wouldn't get enough partners to become prosperous. And this can't really ever get water, so it's still kind of not be ideal. Also, I can do this connection, which is a successful to another successful, giving this all it needs to become prosperous except for the biomatter. So, you know, if I build this, then it becomes prosperous, but it has no way to get people. Yeah, maybe some of those facilities would be good. Some of those self-sustaining ecosystems. Let's go ahead and... Oh wait, was I at 16 science just now? No, I wasn't, because I connected this ruin, right? I was like, I haven't missed out on deep study and stuff, right? So we have like 2 labs, so quantum computing would be 4 science, while deep study is also 4 science, so it's both basically the same, but this one's cheaper. Alright. Also, I would imagine we'd be buying some more science this very year. How are you doing, by the way? 7%. Ooh, yeah. I don't think we can save this one. How's this one doing? 6%? Yeah, we're kind of being a bit in hot water. I think we should take this desert at this point. Should also try to get a food, but you're slightly obstructed. I can get 8 more points of science as well here, right? Like that might unlock quantum computing. That would be quite the boost. Is it still worth it to get quantum computing? We have 9 more years of science. That's 4 points times 9 is 36 science. I suppose it's worth getting. Worth the investment. Especially if there's 2 more to be had, right? But I don't think there is. Anyway, let's go ahead and take the solar farm over here and getting us some energy. And then use the energy to save this planet over here. Send a human back as well. And use the other one for an orbital lab. Which, with energy-driven industry, is going to make more science. So there's another source of science over here if we want it. There's not going to be all that much science, to be honest. It's also going to make more humans, for what it's worth, which it does count towards unemployment, unfortunately. What other places are receiving energy? Well, there's a goods place that is receiving an energy, which doesn't really do all that much for us. Is there something here, I believe? No, there really isn't. And that could be, but... Alright, let's go ahead and get ourselves some bolts here. Do I get ore? Am I getting the necessary ore? That might be a problem, but we kind of need those bolts. Yeah, kind of not nice, right? So this year we could even... quantum computing, right, was worth doing. And there's also self-hosting AI, which would be another 4-ish science. I would imagine it's quite good. We could stick for 31 for a bit. Like, there's no reason to do that, to go up further right now. We could use that to make some labs. Even a lab with just one thing input is still going to be, you know, I don't know how much science at this point. Like, it's still going to be like 5 science, right? So if I position this, I could make, say, a biomatter laboratory over here, right? So something like this, for example. Makes 3 science right now. Get the 24 science, we make 5 science out of it, right? The idea would be to sort of advance the calendar a bit so that we don't have to pay as big a penalty as we would otherwise, you know, be forced to. For expanding too quickly, basically. Now, a geothermal here would be great for getting this planet to make us more humans. We could use one of those in an orbital lab. Actually, there's an orbital lab here as well. And the other one could be used to make something else. Let's see. Oh, this one. I would love to be able to do it. We don't have any chips though. For this to actually start producing some of that energy. If we had, that'd be great. But we don't. Robots as humans. Maybe that's a good idea. Robots as humans, huh? Do we have extra robots in other places? I've seen one location where it's good. But I'm not seeing another. Right? One location's okay to do a tech with, but it's not the greatest. I think maybe just slipstream relay would be the better one. Alright, I'm gonna take get some new water. A sec. Get a toilet break as well. That should work. Where were we? All right. Making these and these as well, right? Another thing to do? How are we going to do that? There's one really easy one for this. The other one, though, might be hard. I mean, it's not too hard as long as we can somehow get these working. There's no good way to do that. Well, people as robots, perhaps, right? Which we do have available. Or, you know, some teleporters or some relays. Some relays would help, definitely. Not really teleporters or relays, though. So it's going to be one of the two. Well, perhaps this game is good enough to actually be like, well, we could take teleporters, right? We could also just take a relay. But we didn't get dimensional anchoring for that. So perhaps just, you know, straight up teleporters would be good too. We don't have the Vittori discount. This would be really good to get. Remnant to Prosperous, huh? Is there any remnant that looks like it would become prosperous? So this one, but it has no partners that will ever become successful easily because they need robots everywhere. There's also... There's this one, but it has kind of the similar problems. Where this would need 2 robots, which it can't really get. This would need goods, which it can't really get because of here. Is a robot available for it, but it's out of range. Is that available, but it's also not quite in the position where you want it to be. There's some out of range connections everywhere. Let's have a look up here, I think. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Can't we make energy here? Right? I mean, that seems a bit ridiculous, but that could work. And it'll sort of like chain it all, right? Yeah, I think that would work. It's a lot of planets, 5 of them. We'd be going over the limit, but yeah, this would be the strat. Okay, so the strat would start with this. September. And one more to get to October. I guess I want to know what this is. It could be like something very nice. Probably not. Oh, it is a planet. Oh. Would you look at that? It's a water planet too, if potentially. I think we'll go ahead and solve all of this mess that we made. Wouldn't really get us much closer to Prosperous plans of it, so I would assume though. Although maybe, right. Maybe we'll get there. For the Vittori? Or maybe get this one, right? It could be. If we get it some water, maybe. So it needs successful partners, really. That's the hard part. I could just see how far we can get, right? But all this stuff costs like 2. Oh, this one costs 4 to run, so that one's lost, I suppose. I think I'll start with this. Actually, hold on. Doesn't this create like a... It does create a successful partner over here. Just 1 right out of 3. Then we can create these 2, which just creates more energy, which which can be sent here to make a robot to make more energy, which can be sent back to make the chips. And then this final energy can go ahead and produce the colony. And this can produce an orbital lab and take in a chip. And then the other chip could come from there, if and only if it was in range, but it's not. I mean, all we did was create one more partner for this, so, you know. The hugest difference? Still, we get another really good asteroid. Also, we should probably take a tech, like self-hosting AI right now. Right, so we get like 6 science a year from that for another, what is it, like 8 years? 7 years? 6 times 7? 42 science for an investment of 24. Seems worth. Go to 3419, get 49 science at the start of the year. Suddenly we have science, right? We can take replicating nanites, making this whole, you know, colonize a bunch of planets stuff a lot more reasonable because we can get it done much quicker. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Because now it only takes 1 month to colonize a planet. And it's free, right? That's I guess more important even than that. We can make a bot factory here, which can immediately, you know, make more energy. Get another bot out of it. Go ahead and fix this place. Now I would imagine that we want energy-driven industry now because we want the other bot to be fixed. I suppose I could also send energy to make a robot, and then send a robot back to make energy and then do that again, but it doesn't seem like it would be the best. Just wastes a lot of time, I think. Not accomplishing very much because it doesn't actually manage to, you know, increase this in any way. You can also send an energy back and make this successful. And again, that doesn't really accomplish very much in the grand scheme of things. There's also not really a way to get into the range of that either. Because it's a little bit too far away to unlock the other chip. Still, I think that, you know, this whole sort of cavalcade of things was successful enough. The problem really becomes like, how do we deal with the issues that arise? Not colonize us out of range. Like, if only we had some way of using the other bot. I mean, a lab would be a way, right? Well, we need prosperous, not successful, so, you know, that's fine and all, but it doesn't really help. We can give it a one partner for just sending in the energy, but that, you know, precludes this bot from ever doing much. Might not be the bestest idea. I could get it from here with a teleporter, maybe. Can we squeeze it in? Probably. I would imagine so. We have enough time to do it. Then it still needs one more successful partner, though. It's still not quite where it needs to be. Does this reach? It is not. I would imagine, like, you know, getting a energy in here would be nice. This mineral here can become a geothermal plant, which then would create lots of humans, which, you know, we could maybe do humans as bots or something. We can definitely send a human in there to help, and it would become a successful partner, which is sort of what you're lacking, right? Partners. The other partner could be from here, and then we're fine. We would also be able to make more ore. For what it's worth, not much. Maybe a monolith. Although I doubt they're very good for us in this situation. It's quite expensive. We don't really have the money to spare. This is already not very good income for the late game. Biome reconstruction, make Earth-likes in places. I don't know how good that is. What an Earth-like in this desert? Like it would be a Gaia world. Could make water for you, biomass for you. You could send in, get a food. We'd have a colony available here. They could send in a human there. And a human there receives the energy. Count as a partner. Would just move the problem though. What up here? There's not any colony available to do it with. We could make a Earth world here. Has the same problems though. This one's lacking ore for like forever, but would have to be solved in some other way. I guess a teleporter would solve things right there. The lack of goods is like sort of showing at this point. Energy-driven industry would also help in various ways to get more stuff to make prosperous worlds. Also, we should probably restrict ourselves to 39 to 40 plants so we don't completely tank our income too. So there's like 3 more plants available for the whole empire then. I don't be careful which ones they are. Like more energy would be great, right? That's one of the things. There's also Starbirth available, which could help creating energy in various places. In fact, a Starbirth to make this one go prosperous would be one way to do things. Although just a teleporter over there would do the same thing. I think I wanted to have a look at what's down here. If we can get a chip, then you know that'd be great. I mean, this does work, right? Can't tell if that's out of range or not. It is. If only, right? The bot over here is just not going anywhere. Robots is humans, I guess. Then it's going somewhere. Robots is humans, right? That will make a successful, prosperous food road for you. The water here then, though, right? How do you get the water then? Energy? Out of range, right? Energy out of range. It's slightly out of range of everything. Energy over here, maybe, but it's a gamble. Am I willing to take a gamble? Not really. It's hard. You can sort of chain energy, right? But that would be quite bad with regards to... Yeah, there's not much over here, unfortunately. So how are we doing this? I don't have a clue. I'm supposed to do this. When the plants we're finding are not being very cooperative, basically. There's quite little to go around here that actually helps us. Like, sure, we can found these plants, right, quickly and cheaply, but they're not going to be contributing, right? If I do this, and then that, and then that, right, we end up reducing our income to, like, you know, only 45. You know, we would get the Vittori. I guess we're getting back to 61 income. Maybe it's not too bad then. But yeah, this robot over here would love to go into these, right? You know, this relay would do it. Relay for water, right? Oh, you know, a teleporter to here. Huh, it's not a thought, right? Two-way trades. So if I take this, if you get down to 16 income, that's the sad part, right? Well, this whole setup. So that's the thing we can really never do. Found another planet. For quite a while. So this one's sort of, you know, stuck where it is for a while then. I don't know about this whole mess that we're creating here. It's also going to be very hard to get more teleporters online. Like, I would love to make some more income with the plants we're founding, because then we could maybe keep going, right? Go to maybe like 50 plants. Well, it's ambitious, right? But like, it's better than founding plants that only have a single connection, because those just don't make enough money to pay for themselves, which is what's reducing the income so much. That and the empire size increase. I would imagine, for example, that doing something like this could also be an okay way to go about things. And that ups us to 67. This is not poor income either. Oh, that reaches? We could. I'm not saying it's any good, but we could. I mean, energy-driven industry would really be the main clincher, right? I don't know how I'm going to be able to use this other food, though, because that will be the goal then, right? If I'm looking for the second planet that is a successful food world. I mean, I suppose just, you know, solving this might be better. Humans as robots, right? There's like so many things that we want. Yeah. Energy-driven industry, robots as humans, humans as robots, limited teleporter, slipstream and slipstream upgrade. They're all good. Can we get all of them? No, right? We have about 200 science though, so we can get quite a few of them, right? These two are around 100 science. There's another 100 science there, that's 200 science, right? And then there's another 50 here, so it's 250 or so in total, of which we can get, you know, everything but one tech, right? So it's probably either teleporters or relays, right? And not both. I would imagine relays is quite a bit cheaper to do, because they cost less. As long as the length of our slipways is not too long, right? If we have long slipways, then teleporters might be better. Because, you know, 15, 26, and then having to pay for another 30s, 56 already. All this is 3 and 3. Yeah. You know, in this case over here, a teleporter is cheaper than an infraway. Though infraways, if you get stream splitting as well, might be cheaper on terms of time, but I don't think we can afford to do all of that with regards to the science output we've got. What order are we going to get things in? Yeah, that's the real question, right? I would imagine we leave the relays and go for the teleporters. If I were to go ahead and attempt to do humans as robots, that would be quite good. Although, teleporter first. We need both to make that work. I think teleporter first makes the most sense. It would require the Vittori, so really we want that prosperous remnant without using a teleporter. Is that possible? Not over here. What What about here? Well, we kind of wall it in. If we get energy-driven industry, though, we get an additional bot, and then bots as humans would be able to send the bot as a human into here. And then what does it need? One more connection, right? Like someplace. Like this, right? But that needs a teleporter. Oh, this is rather daft, isn't it? So that's not an option either. It doesn't work. I think we don't really have anything that can work. Because all the things need... Ah, hold on, can't we do this? That creates... If only it produced more, right? Then we'd just be able to do that and be done. But it doesn't. Yet it does not do what I want it to do. Which ends up exactly how I don't like it. That, right? Wait, doesn't this do it? Wait, do you have humans as robots? That's also Vittori tech. It's very expensive, right? I would love to get the Vittori done without... Because we get so many tech discounts. Can't we just like find a forge world here? Wouldn't that just be amazing? Yeah, we can't. Well, we can't find energy. Because you just need a single partner, right? Yeah. So we can find a chip for that energy, which, you know, we can find with more energy. You can sort of chain the energies again. Although ideally we do it within 2 planets, right? So we don't overload the system as much. So like, hold on. Are you out of range? You are not. But you are. This is so annoying. We're so close. It's so far away. Wait. Isn't that it? Just this Earth-like? I think that's it. Let's do it. Yeah. This is huge. That tech discount is like so good. It makes teleporter better, cybernetic bodies better, machine sentience better. Everything we can get suddenly is cheaper. Everything we want to get is suddenly cheaper. Let's connect this up. Gives us 2 points of science. We can get 8 more if I wanted. Which unlocks cybernetic bodies. Yeah, that's what I want, I think. People as robots, I want that first. Which that unlocks the ability to do like fancy things, like we can make energy from people. Which, you know, that seems fair. We can also make energy again back into people. Which then makes prosperous food worlds here, right? Now you would like to have an additional human as well. So we should probably... I don't know, where are we going to send this human that we're going to make? And we'll get an additional one anyway. So I might as well send it back, and then once we get energy driven industry, we can send it in here as well. I can also send a human in here, which makes us a point of science. And uses up a human, not unimportant. There's 8 more science here. I'll leave that available for when it's needed. So now that we've got, you know, use humans as robots, we can do some fancy shenanigans and those might enable... let's see, we're at 38, right? So if I just bacteria breed it here, we would be fine. Yeah, that unlocks the dender. Make 3 energy. Why, yes, I would love to do that. What about 2 more food producing plants to prosperous? Well, we just did those, right? We just kind of made all of those prosperous. There really aren't that many more food producing plants in our empire, realistically. I mean, we could make some more, but what about remnants? Well, is this one still available? We only made 1 of those prosperous so far, so there are quite a few left. There's this one left. And again, you know, we could unlock teleporters at this point. Yeah, this one will probably become prosperous. Let's go ahead and do it. So making more energy is sort of part of the things we're wanting to do anyway, so that's good. Now, how do we get more things available? One thing we have with humans being able to be used as robots is so we can use humans to make food, and then the food to make humans again. Much more straightforwardly than if you had just, you know, regular ways of doing that. We can also use them here and there. The thing is making this one work, tick, might be a little bit hard because there's no other place for this water to go. It can go there, but it can't go anywhere else. And I'm wondering if there's a way to make this one upgrade. It needs another couple successful partners, which is the hard part. It's got 2, or 1. Sorry, it's got 1 only. It's not very good. This one could become the second one. If we only could, right? All the teleporters are available for that purpose. Can we also use robots as people? I guess we could to connect the Forebear Ruin. Right. Does that count as a people producing plant if it produces robots? We use robots as people, so, and people as robots, so this is going to be quite confusing again. Oh, you know, this one's available as well. It's like chips needed here, which we could make some extra of, actually. Making more goods. For whom, I don't know, but they're there. There's food needed there, which we don't have. It's like not enough money, really. If I go up 1 more, we go to 40, and then we pay a bunch. I can get 8 science. Which would that get us to teleporters? Or 1 short, right? And like 1 point in some way. We have like another orbital lab we can build, for example. I think all of the colonies either don't have humans available or already have an orbital lab. The answer to that is nope. If we could connect this in without using a teleporter, we could. But I don't think we can. Just have a close look, because we might just be missing like sending in a human somewhere, for example, right? Something quite simple to get that 1 point of science. I don't want to build another laboratory, I think. We don't have the money for it. I don't really think there's a good... We have... What do we have? Humans as robots, right? Do we have a lab using robots somewhere? Nope. Can we send a robot into one of our labs? Oh, we don't have robots as humans, right? I keep confusing. I keep being confused. Confuse a cat. Confuse your cat. Yes. urgently needs confusion. I am urgently being confused though. By everything all around me. Okay, so if I don't desire building more plants, which I don't because we'll run out of income, then we should be building some more science. And ideally in such a way that we end up being able to do what I want to do next year. Would energy-driven industry allow us to make more connections in places for another like 12 months or so? That's the thing. But that one science we're short seems to be able to do some harm. One thing we could otherwise do is just get the 54. But that doesn't really help us if I want to one point of science. Can't that be far more frustrating, right? There really isn't anything available that could get us one more point, I think. I've really gotten every single thing. Yeah, you could find a planet, right? But 39. Can't believe it's 8. No, there just isn't any. This would require a teleporter, which sort of moots the point. I guess I'll go ahead and just build more plants then, I suppose. Let's go ahead and look what's over here. So we can't get something going here. I mean, that works. I don't know if it's the best, but it works. It would get us, you know, closer to the Bakar tech, I would imagine. The thing with these teleporters is, though, is that they get expensive. With only 172 money. You can't unlock another technology and use that to get teleporters either. There's no way to get teleporters in order to get teleporters. That's not how things work. We couldn't, and we should have done so long ago. So there's quite a few. There's like 3 shortages. Getting worse as well. This one really wants to be solved. I mean, yeah, this would do it, but I guess we'll do it. Alright, well that's nice because it's the same event, so we could use the other one for money. Eventually, right? Once we run out. Because now we get limited teleportation available. Well, that should be able to do some things. Okay, let's go ahead and solve as many problems as possible that also makes us some money. Like that, that's a two-way trade. And also with Romans as humans, we can solve that then. Okay. Are there more energy producing plants we could upgrade, for example? Already upgraded? So you? So are you? You're not yet sending everything out, I suppose. But you already are upgraded as well. We're at 40 here. One simple thing to do would be to make a two-way trade with water here. Not against it. Although, you could just connect it there, that would work too. We could make a robot into here. As you know, that would allow me to finally unlock additional humans there, which, yeah, that just seems too good to pass up on, doesn't it? The thing is, though, we're like losing money on these planets. For now, anyway, right? This is 4. Its cost on this is huge. But there's like running costs and teleporters as well. It's just quite big. Does that improve the income in any way? Maybe teleporters aren't the answer then. Is the answer just these then? This is 45. This costs you 101. I think it takes too long to research them though. We can get only 30. It's not even really worth getting at this point. Might be better spent working towards relays with that sort of money. Because those are cheaper to run, right? Well, anyway, let's go ahead and see what this entails. Then there really isn't much to be had there. Yeah, the idea would be to sort of I guess we could send it in here as well, but that would make some more sense, right? To send it in there though, because it wants more imports and exports. Overall, now you want a bot, which you can actually give you. Giving us the other energy. Although the human here is now, you know. So we can get energy driven industry. Which, you know, we suddenly have. Wait, hold on. Doesn't that mean that this whole connection is obsolete and we shouldn't do it? Because we can get a human for that with energy-driven industry? It does seem to make more sense, right? Yeah, we can use a human there. That makes much more sense. And we can later on use a bot over here. And to not spend any money that I don't need to spend, basically. We could even send in a energy here, which then gets us a Bakar task complete, which is worth 60 money still. Kind of neat. And well, stuff happened there, which is fine. Some fun stuff. Also, you know, we get an additional energy over here. We actually have energy spare now. Not bad. What about you? Well, there's a very strong connection. Actually, our money's going up again. We're now actually making decent income from being able to use robots as humans and humans as robots everywhere. This would be robots as humans, which we'll be able to get next year. So that's not yet. But that would unlock you, right? Yeah, you just need one more import. So just send in a robot as a human, that would do it. Is this how much you'd be made for doing this one? Maybe. -3. Are there any -7s or something that I want to take care of? Not necessarily. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, this is 48 money now. We should just keep it for when we necessarily want or need it. I mean, I could also take machine sentience right now. Might actually be worth more than the 48 money, actually. I'd go to 26 science and then, you know, unlock this as well. Giving us robots as humans. Giving us, I would believe, a prosperous planet. Yeah, that's one. So now just one remaining, which would be this one. It would need another import. It's already getting one from there. So the question rather becomes like, where else would it get one from? Could get one from here. And energy it could also get, right? To create more stuff. It would like an energy to like create more robots, which you could use to feed into there as well. It would become prosperous with an energy, certainly. I don't know if I can use the... I guess I can. It's like, can I use this other robot I will make, right? I think I will. With robots as humans and humans as robots, it should be decently possible. We'll go ahead and... Or should I feed the final energy into here, right? Make water. Well, we don't need that much water around here. We've already got everything covered. I think I'd much rather make a bunch of robots. They're more flexible too. Slipway cost is going up. Although if it gets sent back immediately, perhaps that's not the best of ideas then. Might as well make water with it then. Because that way, you know, you've got a bunch of water here, which we can at least know that can be used for, you know, sort of like that. Making more plants prosperous, right? Right, let's look at some more tasks. Have we got some? Get an ore-producing plant that prospers. That seems easy. Invent 3 technologies. How hard is that? Well, not really, because I probably want things like Starbirth. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. It's probably just this one, right, that we want to make prosperous. We have like no more money though, which might be a bit of an issue. Tiny bit of an issue, right? No, making a human planet here wouldn't be bad. We'd be able to get a star here eventually. It would unlock another asteroid, I suppose. This one here is also a good candidate to make a prosperous plant. All we need to do is send an ore somewhere. Probably just teleport it somewhere. There's also an energy available here to send somewhere. I think I'll just send it like in here. Maybe we can also send out a food here. It will need to send out 2 foods though to become prosperous. Mechanized harvest doesn't really do the trick either for me. Alright. I think this is about it then. We'll go ahead and... That costs 5 only? Yeah, the upkeep rate is quite high. Fortunately, we don't get the tech that makes 28 for that little slipway. Wow. Expensive. Get Starbirth next year, though. Should allow us to solve some things. Okay, so the thing why I wanted to wait a bit was for purposes of getting this. Because you only need to get a couple outputs and inputs, right? Couple though, not just one. One's not enough, needs 2. This one only needs 1. Probably this one first then. Probably send it here. There's a goods planet. That would make some sense, right? And there we go, Bakar mission complete. We could just get more prosperous plants, I suppose, right? That's probably what we want to do anyway. Can we invent 3 technologies? There's only 42. For next year, probably not. In the last year, we certainly can. But you know, 4 prosperous plants is probably going to take us the rest of the way anyway, so why not do both, right? It's final missions. I have an additional human available here that I could send somewhere. The energy driven is just 1 prosperous planet. You won't count. We're getting 1 side short, right? Or something? That's fine. Do I need to colonize this at some point? I don't think so. This costs too much. Go ahead and consume some asteroids so we make some money so we can connect some more things to places. Might be a good idea. Anything we might want to do specifically? Some water and food over here wouldn't be bad. The water's not much of a problem. The food is the hard part. There's no... I mean, there's some here, but it's far, far away. I guess energy would fix it. Starbirth, right? And send the food in. And we'd want to really do things that make money first, if I could. Starbirth's also expensive to run. Like, all of our techs are going to be expensive to run, which is the main problem. And everyone, you know, everyone that can be sent is already being sent somewhere. So there's very little opportunity to make more cash. But there's some to be found, right? It's like 5 things being input here. You make it 6 if I want, right? If only we had the legendary plant thing, but we don't. There's not even anything that we can really get here, right? I guess that's consuming asteroids is the best way to make some money at this point. Yeah, we end up cash poor in the last year again, right? That happens more often than you want care to admit. Habitat structures, perhaps? I mean, this one would be able to do it with it. This one would get an import from that. So yeah, why don't we get those? Those work. What about Starbirth? We found some things for that too. It's like, if I collapse you, you get an energy. You get lots of things in here. Sure. You upgraded as well. And none of that makes prosperous plants though, which is the goal. Keep the hands on the goal. You want successful partners. You want to use ore for something rather, something. There's lots of plants that are close. Not a lot of plants that can actually do it right now. Alright. There's no more ocean plants to send into. That's this one, but I mean it's got too much stuff into it already. I'd like to send it somewhere that will actually also you know, work towards its upgrade as well. This one, but it's already receiving energy, so it can't take ore. There's not many places that take ore, as it turns out. There's more science, but I don't want that because I don't want to waste money. I don't want to lose money on anything here. The best way is a teleporter. Oh, what about that habitat, actually? That's a prosperous planet. Oh, does it need... Yeah, I guess it does. It's a two-way trade too, right? Oh, I never thought about that. We can go from 126 to 135. Huh. Oh, that's actually quite nice for us. We can just turn food into... Especially any sort of normal farm, right? We could just build a farm and build a bunch of habitats around it and make it prosperous. Especially Earth-like farms. All we have to do is put 3 habitats around it and it's prosperous. Kind of weird. Weird but amazing, right? So I can't do the same here, actually. Like, you just need... Yeah, but you need a successful partner, right? Well, hold on. If I do something a little bit more clever, and we connect these two together with a teleporter, that makes a prosperous planet. And then if I add in the energy afterwards, we get another one. Then our mission complete. I know I've got some extra people and stuff available for myself too. I could send it in there, for example, right? Send one in here too. There's also the option to make an orbital lab here, which you might think, why would we do that? Well, because it's worth doing, because you can get orbital labs will give us not just science, but also take away unemployment. Also, there's a couple planets that are costing us quite a bit of points. So it might be worth looking into, you know, water extraction here, for example. I might also want to look into getting food from all the way up there, which might get expensive considering it's going to be long slipways plus a teleporter. Take care that we don't use up too much. I would love to see actually maybe over here as well. Yeah, this is kind of what I'd love to see. So I think we'll start with this one. Because I've wanted to solve this one for a while. Oh wait, before I do so, connect this first. This way we still get, no, ascension, but that doesn't do anything. Anyway, fusion plants. Could solve this. Yeah, why not? Have a look if we can't get 4 more prosperous plants. It's maybe a bit too much, right? Because we don't have the money. Does it even help? Yeah, it does give us 4%. The unemployment rate sort of cuts into it a bit, but I guess it's fine. And I mean, we can't solve this one, right? I tried, but we didn't get money from this. It's only 32 in the bank, which is not quite enough to do like a teleporter. I would love to do this teleporter, for example, right? There's quite a few more we could do, potentially. We got a huge empire, though, so that counts for something. 45 planets is kind of a massive size for tough. Can we, like, I can get to October, but that's... yeah, that's the limit of where we can get if we want to build a teleporter, and it costs 50. Maybe we shouldn't have done this planet, then. No, we can't go back beyond this now, because we sort of gambled on it. I mean, that makes sense, right? You'd have to try for it. So, any humans as robots, robots as humans, or something like that remaining? Habitat only is 25, right? Yeah, it's the cheapest thing we have. We'll decline these missions because we are not able to get them. A habitat over here. Will that make you prosperous? It would not. Because there's no bots needed there. And every source of food we have that does need bots is already completed, right? Yeah, this one's already prosperous. And it's got more food, right? It can make it's making 5, so you know it's got plenty for people. But like the place where we need the food is, well, devoid of it. Well, we can look over here, see we can't make food, and we cannot. And if I take that, we're out of time, I think. We literally are. There's no text that can help us on there. There's remake. But it's too expensive. Right? We'd have to remake and be able to afford a slipway. Also, you can't remake fort rolls, unfortunately. It's the one planet type you can't, because it doesn't have an atmosphere. So, no remake for me. Study life forms. So 31. Got 151 happiness. Like, I'm not unhappy about this run. Too much. I'm feeling a bit of deja vu. Could be me though. I'm feeling a bit of deja vu, but have I done this before, right? It's quite similar to the things I've done before, I feel. Not different in its own unique way. Kind of heavy on the science. So yeah. There's no more opportunities to... Is there? Oh, there's this one. .1% additional. Let's just scan here. Yeah, that would be 33. It would fix the both of them. Well, we can't afford it. Also, no more time, right? We could found another planet. If there's some sort of bonus for it, but there isn't. So go ahead and end it. And we end up with a score of, oh, we just saw it, right? 26,000? I don't think that's... you know what? It's not as good as these like high-tech runs usually get. Because we had some money trouble, right? We didn't really have any of the techs that allows you to make enough money to just sort of ignore money trouble in the late game, which kind of costs us quite a bit of building time, right? I think I did the right thing. We also had some real trouble in the beginning with like empty areas around the starting point. All the plants were over here in the corner again. I did quite a few times. That usually leads to some trouble.